Welcome to episode 3 of our Intro to Consulting series. In this episode, we talk about the consulting firm's landscape, otherwise known as Consulting Firms 101. And let's be honest, you could get a PhD in consulting firms like we have after 15 years of being in the industry, but heavens knows you still wouldn't know everything. Still, this is a good high-level overview of the consulting firms, how they work, what types there are, and who some of the top firms are. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to part 3 of our Intro to Consulting series. Today, we're sharing the different types of management consulting firms to help you decide where you might fit. Now, you know what consulting is and what consultants do, but now it's time to shed light on the companies that are out there. There are multiple types of consulting firms. In fact, by functional area, there are at least 5 types of consulting firms, and there's a whole big other category. The top are strategy consulting, which you would think of as the type that are answering big, what are the key things that we should do questions. There are tax consulting firms that advise organizations not just how to pay the least tax on their operations backwards, but also on how to structure their organization, sometimes across borders, to minimize their tax implications going forward. Number 3 is operations consulting. Operations consulting talks about how do we get done what needs to happen. Number 4, tech or IT consulting focuses on the technology that you're using inside an organization, on how to save cost or deliver value faster, more effectively, and more efficiently. Number 5 is sales and marketing consulting, focused on increasing your top line by enhancing your brand, your story, and the channels that you're utilizing. And then, of course, there's the other category, because for every functional area inside a business, there is a type of consulting. There's another way to slice the field of consulting, and that's by industry. Many consulting firms or specific consulting practice areas are aligned this way. A few top examples of the biggest practice areas and specialties are number 1, healthcare consulting, focused on hospitals, on life sciences organizations, pharma, and more. Number 2 is public sector consulting, everything government oriented. Number 3, financial services and private equity consulting, focused on organizations for whom raising and deploying capital is their primary business. Number 4 is technology consulting, focused on companies whose primary product or service is based in technology. And number 5 is energy and sustainability consulting, focused on organizations that are designed to power the planet. Of course, there are thousands of other industries and micro industries, and there's a consulting firm that matches every single one of those as well.
Investor Group Services, or IGS, is a boutique consultancy focused on the world of private equity. Specifically, the firm advises private equity and investor clients on transaction and growth initiatives via M&A due diligence, sell-side industry analysis, strategic support, and more. IGS is actively looking to add talented individuals to its 60-person team. Apply today through the firm's careers page at igsboston.com or by clicking the link in this episode's show notes. Apply to Stacks to work on exciting projects focused on private equity, strategy and growth, exit planning, operational improvements, and data and analytics. Stacks is a boutique strategy firm serving private equity firms and their portfolio companies across several industries, including tech, healthcare, consumer and retail, industrials, and more. The cool thing about Stacks? You'll get near equal exposure to each industry, making for a well-rounded consulting experience. Whether you're an undergraduate student, MBA candidate, experienced professional, or somewhere in between, Stacks has a role for you. Ready to up-level your career? See which roles the firm is hiring for and submit your application through the link in this episode's show notes or on the careers page at stacks.com. That's STAX.com.
But beyond just the types of consulting firms, it might also be helpful to understand who the top management consulting firms are. Unequivocally, these are considered to be MBB, McKinsey, Bain, and BCG. And a new top consulting firm has not been created in the last few decades. Their key focus is on strategy of an organization, even though they do implementation and other work. And each one of the firms, for their work, command a premium. They often work exclusively with boards of directors or senior leaders of every organization. The second type are top accounting consulting firms, otherwise known as the Big Four. These do everything from tax to audit to strategy consulting, and their different practice areas have very different, not just business lines, but also compensation structures. These four firms are Deloitte, PwC, EY, and KPMG, and there are subtitles for each one of those organizations, depending on the practice area that you're working in. In addition, there are a number of top boutique consulting firms, and we could go on for days and weeks about those. In fact, you might want to check out our consulting firm directory for more information on the great boutiques that we recommend. But these boutiques generally focus on primarily one specific industry or one specific functional area. Even if they dabble in others, they have one core hook that they're using to build a reputation and process inside an organization. Some examples of these include Accenture, LEK, Kearney, Oliver Wyman, Advancy, Bates White, and Clearview Healthcare Partners. As I mentioned before, there are literally hundreds more, but see, these are some that represent different kinds of fields. Now, if you're convinced that consulting is the right next step in your career, and we do not intend to dissuade you, we just want you to go in armed with the truth, please make sure to stay tuned for the next episode on the 4 pathways into consulting. You won't want to miss it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you'd love to break into consulting but don't know where to start or who to apply with or how to break in, we would love to help. Our Black Belt program does everything from helping you with the networking process all the way through to an offer. And we improve your odds dramatically. For more information, you can find details in our show notes. And if you're at a partner school, you get a discount. In addition, if you want great content just like this one delivered every week, we put out 2 fantastic episodes and you can subscribe. Thanks again for listening.